Hey everybody, Brian, Kilo Bravo 9, Uniform Zulu Oscar at the Eastern Colorado Repeater Association, coming to you live from System 1, live in a sense from System 1 here in Peyton, Colorado. I want to walk you guys through to some of the good, the bad, the ugly, and some of the improvements we've been making here at System 1, the first of ECRA's 3 repeater systems here in Eastern Colorado. What you see behind me is a Victron inverter. This inverter replaced the garbage Renogy inverter that was up this way. We made some improvements to the layout, electrical layout of System 1. What was happening with the Renogy inverter right here was its transfer switch was becoming stuck and it was allowing the AC to bleed through and ride the DC rails of our repeater. This will eventually be removed, taken out of the system, because it's been replaced with the Victron inverter right here. This Victron inverter was given to us by Matt, KD0QLY, ECRA's Vice Chairman. Awesome guy. He was able to procure this inverter, and we got it installed last week, and it's been doing everything that we needed to and more. This is what runs the AC side of System 1. The DC side is over here, and these batteries are probably a little bit out of frame, but we have 500 amp hour battery capacity here, taken care of by solar during the daytime, and at nighttime underneath here we have a 50 amp Victron DC charger that keeps these batteries topped off during nighttime or when there's low solar energy available. Of course, then the inverter here takes that DC and converts it over to AC. And what that's allowed us to do, now that we've taken out of a lot of the electronics that used to hang on the wall behind the repeater itself, behind the repeater cabinet, was we were able to remove the repeater cabinet, or move the repeater cabinet forward, which allows us to have full access to the back of the repeater cabinet. This way we can stand behind it, open the door fully, and the front of the repeater cabinet, which is really nice. It does make this a little bit more cramped in here, but it's nice to be able to access the back of the repeater cabinet without having to pull it forward, open up the back, push it back, because we're only in a, I think this is a 6.5 foot tall by 8 foot shed. It's not a large shed. That's something we're going to have to do in the future, is get a larger shed here for System 1. So we tackled the inverter issue. The second gremlin that we have right now is called squelch crash. That's essentially when the repeater is hearing itself. Underneath the repeater cabinet here are 4 TXRX duplexers for VHF. Those were given to ECRA. We spoke to the manufacturer, TXRX Systems, and they said, yeah, send them back. We're going to tune them. You let us know what you want done with them. We told them we needed, since this is operates as a 100 watt system, we need to ensure that those 4 can duplexers, although small for being a 4 can, they need to have 100 dB of isolation and be able to run 100 watts without descents. They gave us the paperwork, gave us the emails, talked to them on the phone. They said, no problem, we do that for you. When we received the TXRX duplexers back, they didn't do what they were told to do. The duplexers, come to find out, are really only good to 70 watts max. After that, the TX and the receive and the transmit side of the duplexers, the isolation becomes nullified and starts. There's a repeater, sorry about that. Anyways, making a long story even longer, TXRX Systems did not do as we told them. They told us that they had followed our specifications, they didn't. In real world use, the TXRX duplexers, they're 4 can, they're really only good up to about 70 watts. There's not enough isolation between the transmit and the receive side. That was causing the repeater to, again, essentially hear itself, and then its squelch was crashing. Now, how do we rectify this in the interim? Is we've had to reduce the RF wattage out of the amplifier to 50 watts. That is taking care of the receiver descent, opened up some more isolation within the 4 can duplexers, and we're operating like that. We don't like it because this is a 100 watt system. This is a 100 watt coverage setup for what this system was planned for. So in order to fix it, we need a 6 can duplexer. That is the ultimate fix. Now, and I'm going to throw a, just so everyone knows what a squelch crash sounds like, I'm going to throw a link up here or a audio snippet so you can hear that.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Victor Golf Quebec Gary, east of Colorado Springs, KF0VGQ.
Now you've heard what a squelch crash sounds like. Let's move on to how we fix it. We have to somehow fund a larger 6-can duplexer setup that allows us more isolation for a 100-watt system. Install that. In the meanwhile, we have a spare Sinclair 4-can high Q factor VHF duplexer that's still in the heavy-duty cabinet inside. It's got a higher Q and it's got a broader notching on it, so we think that we might be able to get by maybe with the large Sinclair VHF duplexer sets. We'll see what happens. We'll bring you another video, update you guys on that. So the ultimate fix is we need to raise funding for a larger 6-can duplexer setup for the VHF side. The UHF repeater is unaffected. The UHF, and that's usually the case. VHF and UHF are kind of particular on certain factors, but as far as the UHF system's interaction with its own duplexer, fantastic. The UHF side runs 50 watts. We don't run 100 watts out of the UHF duplexer because we use UHF as more of the local chat, whereas VHF is our system-wide regional coverage. And if those of you who don't understand that, I'll kind of briefly tell you about it. So ECRA's repeater network is set up to where you can be in northeast Colorado, be heard in southeast Colorado, southeast central Colorado, the Front Range. That's how we're setting up the repeater networks, is that we're using an audio backlink for a full duplex on the VHF side, so you can instantaneously be heard anywhere within eastern Colorado through either of ECRA's repeater systems. So those are really the two major updates right now. We took care of one gremlin, which was getting rid of the Renogy inverter, and now we're tackling the other gremlin, which is the VHF squelch crash receiver descents that was going on within the VHF repeater. We've now temporarily halted that issue with the descents by lowering our RF wattage, and the duplexers now have enough isolation for that power. Really good, but we need to raise the funding to get a new 6-can VHF duplexer setup. If anyone wants to contribute to our GoFundMe, link is in the description. We really would appreciate that. Other news is essentially, besides being able to kind of tidy things up, make things a little bit more presentable, ECRA's next meeting is November 1st at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If anybody wants to join our virtual meeting, our next membership meeting on November 1st, please send us an email. We'll send you a link. This is not something that is just for ECRA members, ECRA supporters. This is for the community at large. Do appreciate everyone's support, everyone's help. Again, it's awesome. We're doing something that hasn't been done in eastern Colorado in the history of amateur radio on this type of scale. So your support means a lot to us. Click the subscribe button. Look at our social media, keep up to date, and feel free to reach out anytime. So this is Kilo Bravo 9 Uniform Zulu Oscar Brian with the Eastern Colorado Repeater Association saying 7 3s. Take care. We'll talk to you later.